Okay, this will serve as a review and clarifications for the SLO. You guys did the midterm one. You should have now gotten them back. So if you want to use that as a study guide, working towards the final SLO, that would be fine. I do want to clarify some things that I saw. Pretty much everything on here we've talked about now. We're going to clarify a few details as we go over the next couple weeks. But at this point on Friday, as we go to Thanksgiving break, we've covered close to everything on here. So this first part, the graph here, it says prey-predator cycles right at the top of the page. What type of ecological relationship do these two organisms have? So prey-predator cycles right here. So that is going to be predation by definition. Population of rabbits increases over 400 every how many years? So here's your 400 mark. Above at year 5. Above again at year 20. 20 minus 5. You should be able to figure that out. What would happen to the rabbit population from year 40 to 60 if the wolves were removed from the area at year 40? So this is a 4-point question. You earn points for both the correctness and how accurate your description is. So the 4-point scale looks like this. Advanced is a 4. That means you're covering every possible detail of this question. If you're on target but not quite all the way there, you're at a 3.5. Emerging is a 3. Novice is a 2.5. So if you said something like, if you just said something, you know, oh, there would be rabbits and wolves, probably got a 2.5. If you are getting towards the right skills there, then you're emerging. So if you kind of actually gave a little bit of description, you're at a 3. If you've got almost all the detail that's needed, you're at a 3.5. If you get full detail, including what might happen over this full 20-year period, that's where you're getting to a 4. Taking a look onto the next page. This one's pretty simple. Asks about carrying capacity. Carrying capacity is a topic that was on the homework assignment from last week right after the SLO. But we had discussed it as well. So based on the graph above, carrying capacity, you can see that it starts to flatline here. That's going to be your carrying capacity. The population of cockroaches may have reached carrying capacity because we talked about a variety of things that can cause that. Food resources running out definitely can cause carrying capacity limitations. Space, predators may be limiting the population. So since all of those are things that we've discussed in class, you're looking at D. In a forest, the population of white-tailed deer increased quickly because there are few natural predators. Which of these will most likely become a limiting factor for the white-tailed deer population? A lot of people said inability to find a mate, which I didn't quite understand. The population, it doesn't say that they're mostly female or mostly male, so there shouldn't be any inability to find a date, or find a mate rather. Deer eat vegetation, so that kind of rules out that answer. Some people said migration to another forest. I can see where that thought might come. But since we're looking at limiting factors, and our limiting factors are going to be food, space, and predators, and it says there's no predators, that kind of gives you a hint of where that's at. For this one, this is the same thing. It's that 4-point scale like we talked about on the other page right here. You have to describe how the abiotic factor actually affects the population. So remember, abiotic factors are going to be the non-living things. Population is going to be something kind of living. So you need to actually explain that. On this page, I highly, highly, highly encourage you to use words. Words, 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 words. Just use words and draw your arrows. The arrows show the flow of energy. So when it says that a desert fox eats lizards, the arrow points from the lizard to the fox. One other point of clarification, kangaroo rats are a specific animal. It's not kangaroos and rats, it's kangaroo rats. It's one word, or one species. This one, you should know that you're going to start at a producer. So plants. From there, what eats plants? What eats your first level consumer goes here, and then what's your apex predator goes up here. There's only 4 animals here. Same thing, aquatic plants, one word. That was a struggle for some people. Draw an arrow to show the direction energy flows as it decreases in this energy pyramid. So, I mean, energy is going through these trophic levels. Is it decreasing going up or decreasing going down? How much energy is passed on from each trophic level? We beat this to death, and there's still people getting it wrong. It's really, that's one you should know. That is definitely one you should know. You should know that one. I cannot see why you might not get that one right. This one tripped some people up. I actually made a wrong answer key briefly before I kind of read it a little closer. If a ladybug eats aphids and aphids eat tomato plants, which trophic level would the bird be if it eats ladybugs? Tomato plants, aphids, ladybugs, bird. This page should have been pretty easy. Light energy comes in here, carbon dioxide comes in, carbon gets saved, oxygen gets put out, water, it even looks like water right here, coming in right here. Matter, energy is not matter. That's all I'll say about that. What forms, there's two forms you should have there. What form of matter does the plant release or not need? One form. When does a plant go through the process of photosynthesis? We've talked about it requires light. So only one of these times has light. Not going to go through the background read. On this part, all you have to do is identify independent and dependent variables. The independent variable is the thing that you change. The dependent variables are the things that you measure. Last page, people are starting to get this one down actually. Based on this graph, make a claim for which biofuel crop you would recommend for farmers to grow in order to increase the biodiversity of beneficial insects. Explain using evidence you have from the data above. Justify your reasoning with your knowledge of ecology and environmental science. So you make a claim. I claim that the best biofuel is corn. I claim that the best biofuel is switchgrass. I claim that the best biofuel is prairie grass. So that's just making your claim. Here's your rubric for that. If you make a complete and accurate claim that clearly restates the question, no, there's not specifically a question there, then you get a 5. If you have a complete and accurate claim and it relates to the question, but it's not entirely clear, 4.4. If you make an accurate claim, but it's incomplete, 3.9. If you make an inaccurate claim, 3.4. So if your claim is like, something not listed is the best biofuel, obviously that's wrong. But if you just put corn, just the word corn, 3.9. Need to have at least 3 pieces of evidence on this. I know it doesn't say that here. That's where you get your proficient. Proficient is what we teach to. You provide appropriate, sufficient, and specific evidence based on the graph. You include units for measurement. And then finally, for your reasoning, you provide reasoning that connects the evidence to the claim. You include appropriate scientific concepts to explain why each piece of evidence supports the claim. So that's looking at your evidence and your reasoning. That means that this question is worth a total of 15 points. This test is broken down into sections. Section 1 goes from here through here, across here through there. Section 2 is this part and this part. Section 3 is just the photosynthesis page. Section 4 is the independent dependent variable and this back part. So as a result, your grade 13, 9, 6, 19. For the final, that'll be put in as 4 test grades. That's your clarification of the SLO to help you prepare for the final. I would use that as a study guide. Take some time over Thanksgiving break to maybe view through this video, fill out your sheet to kind of make it work for you. I realize this video is 9 minutes long. That's kind of long. That's why we're not doing it in class, but it is a review for you. Thanks so much.